Go ahead.
Now we're ready. All right. Ms. Aruba, would you call the roll to bring our workshop meeting of the Harlem Township Zoning Commission to order, please?
Mike Kavler,
Here.
Joni Manson. Here. Tom Need.
Here.
Brittany Hopwreck. Louis Greenwell.
Here.
Alan Zako is not present.
Don't forget to turn on your.
All right.
microphone.
Welcome. I turned my mic on. Thank you. We have no other officials present and we have no public present. The only
Ashley's
non
present.
Yeah, Ashley's. present.
zoning commission member is Ashley Zaruba, who is our zoning assistant. Say hi to Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
I don't know. We don't have anyone joining us online yet.
Bob Singer's on.
Oh, is Bob there?
Yep.
Okay, well, he's not, I don't see him on the screen there.
This is.
Oh, now I see Louis up there, but I see there's
Bob
a
is the
screen.
gray-
up there.
Bob's the
That's
gray
Bob, that
block.
gray spot, huh?
Gray block.
Okay, thank you. All right. Well, let's then very quickly go on down. We don't have any one present, so I don't think we'll have any one wanting to present an application to us tonight to be received. So we'll do the minutes.
We had enough last week.
We had plenty last week. Okay. Well, we've got 3 sets of minutes. We have the 2 hearing minutes and the regular minutes. In order that they're on the agenda, we've got regular minutes first. Any additional comments regarding these? I know that they've been reviewed online. I reviewed them along with several other folks. Any?
I do have a call out on the last page, page 3. At the top paragraph, there's a cross out of was, Phil. We've got to remove that. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
You said, well, if it's there, but I don't see it on my copy.
It's on, I think you
Page
might be
3.
looking at the wrong thing.
It's the last page all the way down.
See, was is crossed out. so
Oh, it is there. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the
I looked right
regular
over it.
meeting minutes of July 7th as previously corrected.
Second.
Moved by Joni, seconded by Brittany to approve the regular minutes for July the 7th. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, those minutes are approved as corrected online. Okay. And then the next set of minutes, hearing minutes for HTZ C 2506. Same thing. We've reviewed them online. Any further questions or comments about them?
One very small thing on the first page, about 2/3 of the way down. A paragraph starting, Mr. Foreman approached to review the deed and stated that should be he rather than the.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's it.
one little change. Anything else?
I motion to approve the minutes for zoning commission hearing HTZC 2506 as corrected.
I'll second that.
All right, thank you very much. Moved by Louis, seconded by Tom to approve the minutes for HTZC 2506 as corrected. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no? All right, those minutes are approved, and then the last one is the hearing minutes for the hearing on HTZC 2507, which was the changes in Articles 4 and Article 22 of the zoning resolution.
I think the only thing is the last it says, I think it was seconded by Joni, but that needs verification. Does that need to be
Yeah.
removed?
It does need to be removed. I do think I seconded, but Louis could have also
I don't
done
think I
it,
said-
and it just depends on who she hears.
I thought Tom moved for approval and I thought you Or I thought maybe Brittany seconded.
Did you?
I know, I was like, I feel like I might have, but I don't remember.
I had written notes that Tom had made the motion.
Right,
And then that Louis had done the seconding, but honestly, I could have heard it wrong.
Did you, say, Louis?
it's possible that I could.
I mean, you guys all
Tony,
lied,
you
so
thought-
who
did
wants
you
to
second
play
it?
I thought I did.
Okay, I thought Joni did, and she says she thinks she did, so,
Okay.
but we need to take that sentence out, because I wrote that in there.
Change it to Joni then.
Tom motion.
Yeah,
and
so it'll be
Joni
seconded by
Yeah.
Joni.
Everyone just chime in as they're walking in, please.
Okay. All right, is there any additional questions or comments about these minutes? All right, hearing none.
I'll move to approve the zoning commission hearing HTZC 2507. That's correct.
All
Second.
right. Moved by Louis, seconded by Brittany. Yeah, since we sometimes have trouble remembering. Okay. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Okay, motion is approved as corrected. Okay. Now, let's see. We still have a few minutes. Is anyone who has joined us wanting to submit a new application? Good. And going on, we've got these changes in the application forms, the changes for the procedures, and then we have the draft of the checklist. There were a lot of changes in the checklist, and that one we will need to spend a little bit of time reviewing it. These other items we have reviewed previously, and we're hoping that we can simply look at these tonight and say, yes, we got all those changes that we have already discussed to be made. The only one on the, I know we've got both the red line copy as well as the copy without the red lines in it, with all the changes accepted.
I just
So-
had one thing about the application for amendments. And it would apply to both of the overlays and the other one. And that is, instead of having applicant signature and applicant written name, I think maybe saying applicant printed name might be more clear, because written can easily be script.
All right, so we're going to change written to printed, and that's the only change. The rest of everything, yeah, we had added that the last time. Everything else we've previously discussed. Yes, sir.
One clarification on the overlay district application. It looks like the neighboring properties worksheet is still a part of that form. Is that, we're gonna just have that as a standalone. The neighboring properties worksheet is gonna be its own form, right?
Right.
It is. It was just attached and I had to change the numbers on it
Alright.
because we took off the 4 on the amendment to township page. I just think that's how I flipped it. But yes, that is completely separate. I just wanted to include it so you guys could see that the numbers were
Got it.
from
Okay.
5 to 24 to.
And one other question. Now that everything is an online payment, they don't have to do two separate online payments for the acreage fee versus the application,
I'm
right?
gonna clarify that.
Or do they?
I'm gonna clarify that on Wednesday and see if they want it to be separate, for like return of acreage fee
Right.
reasons, or if we can just say this is the price of the acreage fee and just return that. So let me ask on Wednesday and get clarification. And if that is the case, would you guys be okay with me just going ahead and putting submit 2 checks on here? That way we can.
Two
payment-
online
Yeah,
payments.
2 online payments, yeah.
Yeah,
That way we can push this forward and not have to.
yeah, basically the same language as we used to have, but call them online payments
Yeah.
instead of checks, yeah.
I can do that.
All right, well, could I have a motion, Joni, to that effect, please? The
Make the change?
application for the amendment to township zoning map of the overlay district application would be approved with the verification that Ashley will get that one check is adequate. I'm sorry, one payment will suffice versus the need for two. If two are needed, she will add that to the application.
I seconded.
Perfect.
How about so moved?
Okay. Very good. Is there? All right, I guess I can make the motion.
You can.
All right, that's what you're saying. You said I seconded. Okay. So I made the motion and Joni
You made
seconded.
it. It's me. Let's go.
All right. Further discussion?
Pending the outcome of her, what she finds about the payments, I think it's probably makes sense for us to put a sentence or two in the procedural guidelines to explain maybe how that calculation works, just to be clear that if it is going to be two payments, that we say that in here. Not on.
Oh, it's also on there?
It probably should be on here.
In here right
These are the
now.
Instructions, it should say in the instructions that you need to make two separate payments. Here's how to calculate the acreage fee, et cetera.
Yeah, well, let's see. We may have to come back to the,
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
The guideline.
Can we do that quickly? Where was it? Payment, here it is. It's number 7.
That's right.
I think we could probably put a.
Well, and I think,
It should probably be whatever the language she comes up with is.
Yeah,
okay, so what we will then do here, we'll separate this as a separate motion.
Yeah.
sure.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
you
fine.
want to make it?
I move that we take the language that Ashley's going to develop and add that to item number 7 on the procedural guidance.
Okay, in a second,
I'll second it.
seconded by Joni. All right, great. Any further discussion?
That on the procedure,
Very-
that's a checklist.
Procedural.
Yeah, it would be added on number 7 and then, well, the checklist, we're gonna delay discussion about it because we've got the hearing to start here, I think.
Yeah.
In 3 minutes, we're supposed to start. We could be a little late if we can do it quickly, I guess.
I also want to call out this
It's-
checklist that was printed. I don't think this is the right one.
All right, but let's finish this motion that we have on
Oh,
the floor.
sorry.
Sorry.
Didn't realize we had a move.
The motion on the floor has to do with the procedural guidelines for the zoning amendments. Any further discussion? Hearing none, then all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no? All right, so
Joni second.
that's approved. Yeah, it was seconded by Joni. Moved by Louis, seconded by Joni. So she's the second on both of those motions. All right, that's great. We got those done. And then the last item was the checklist. And we started to have a bit of a comment and discussion about that one. What was it now that you were referring to, Brittany?
Well, I was thinking this wasn't, the numbering is a little bit off on this one. And also it doesn't include the box that was added about signatures. I'm not sure this is the right one that was edited.
Number 5 has your signatures.
Oh, maybe I have the wrong one
It
then.
looks like this is what we got in our package.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Number 5 has the signature section.
The only
Oh,
one
there
that's
it
not
is.
here, and I remember I asked about that
But-
when
these
when we were meeting, is we got number 6 is number 6 is the signatures, and it's not listed on the checklist.
Yeah,
That's the only thing that I
there
saw.
we go. That's where I was like, something, the numberings. Oh, I see, because it goes
Number 5,
1,
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it should be 1, 2. I don't know if you noticed at the top, it says 1, 1.
1.
So I think we just need to adjust the numbering.
And the bullets in that,
The-
the formatting just got all wonky.
Yeah.
Honestly, I literally had to take it out accept all of your changes, then undo everything. And it was like, what is happening?
Oh, I didn't notice that. I see what you're saying.
So
Yeah.
it's
So it
still-
should be 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5's changed. 6 at the bottom of the page. And then 7
7 should be payment. Yeah.
at the end is payments.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And that's what you want to
Yeah.
update with, depending on whatever happens to the
Yeah.
application.
Yeah. That should all match.
Okay. So all this spacing is weird too.
Yeah. So we'll just have to.
Are we at a point where, Brittany, you would want to make a motion to approve this?
Sure. I'm good with it.
Very good. And then is there a second?
Well, I think the motion should include that some of these things will be corrected.
Good point.
Specifically, will be corrected. Spacing will be corrected, numbering will be corrected.
Yeah. So make a motion to approve the checklist with the changes in terms of correcting the numbering that we mentioned. So 1 is doubled, so we need to fix the numbering. Signatures needs to be number 6 and payments should be number 7.
And that's the motion. And Joni, are you seconding?
Yeah, I would also include in the motion though that the spacing in this section here is all wonky. It needs to be fixed.
Oh, in the first paragraph,
Yeah.
fix the spacing in the first paragraph as well.
Okay, so the motion is to approve the copy that we have for the checklist with the corrections of the spacing in the first paragraph and the numbering as Brittany has outlined.
I'll second that.
All right, we have moved by Brittany, seconded by Joni. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Okay, great. The checklist is approved as amended. And it is 7:48, so we're a couple minutes late, but we're going to open the hearing here shortly. With that, I would recess the regular meeting, our workshop meeting of the zoning commission, and we will come back to it out of recess at the conclusion of the hearing, whether the hearing is recessed to another date or if the hearing is closed. Okay, so the hearing, we will be opening. I'd like to have a roll call vote of the commission members.
Mike Kavler,
Here.
Joni Manson.
Here.
Tom Need,
Here.
Brittany Hopper. Here. Lou Greenwell.
And Alan Zako is our alternate, but he's not present tonight. The officials who are present tonight, Ashley Zaruba is our zoning assistant. We also happen to have, I see he's arrived, from the Delaware County Regional Planning, Scott Sanders. He's here for a workshop meeting, which we will get to. We're going to be reviewing another section of the zoning resolution shortly. With that, then, let me briefly explain the purpose of the hearing. We, as commission members, will be reviewing the application tonight for the purpose of determining if the application contains all the required information, if the required property owners were notified, if the proposed zoning change meets the requirements for the proposed district, and if there is conformance with the township comprehensive plan. At this time, detailed plans are not required and will not address individual lots, driveways, septic systems, or surface water drainage. That's not a requirement to change from AR1 to FR1. Rezoning involves multiple steps and agencies, and our hearing basically is like the first step. Our recommendation goes to the township trustees. We do not make the final decision on whether the zoning will be approved. It will be made by the trustees. Once the trustees make that recommendation, then the applicant will go to the county health department or septic system, or they may be doing it simultaneously. Delaware County Regional Planning for plat approval, Delaware County Regional Planning and County Engineer Office for the driveway location, County Engineer and Soil and Water Conservation District for drainage appropriate for the site, and then the Township Zoning Inspector will issue a zoning permit after he reviews all the approvals from the other agencies, the site plan for size, frontage, and setbacks. When construction occurs, the property owner must provide for surface water drainage that complies with the plan and does not increase water flow onto a neighbor's property. If any neighbor has concerns about water coming onto their property, they can contact the zoning inspector, but the zoning inspector has no authority. He will just make a referral to the appropriate agency. Now, during the hearing, let me briefly explain the procedures that will follow. Commission members will comment and or ask initial questions. There will be no public participation at this point. However, when the zoning commission is finished, the public will have the opportunity to comment and or to ask questions. During this time, when the public is participating, please step up to the podium and state your name and your address. Remember, only one person can speak at a time because only one person can be heard. Please be brief and factual, and please do not bring up a point or question previously addressed and or asked. Please do not carry on a private conversation while an individual is speaking. If there is a group that wishes to be heard, please have a spokesperson for the group address the commission. When there are no further questions and or comments from the public portion of the hearing will be closed. From that point, no further public comments and or questions will be entertained unless recognized by the chair. Commission members will then have the opportunity to make any additional comments and or ask any additional questions. Now we have the application. First question regarding the application is the application on the correct form?
Does appear to be on the correct form.
All right. No, I'm looking for my cheat sheet here. I covered it up. Now, as we look at the application, has the applicant or agent signed the request for rezoning?
Both applicants have signed.
And what is the specific zoning request? The zoning request is to change from AR1 to FR1, and it involves two parcels. 316-4400, 1021-000, and 316-4400-1, 021-001. Changing from AR1 to FR1, the total acreage being 7.9408 gross acres. Net acreage to be rezoned is also listed as 7.9408.
Mr. Chair, there is no individual property with that acreage amount.
No, it's a combination acreage. I guess it's combined, isn't it?
Yeah,
They've combined the
I
two.
don't believe they have been combined into one parcel.
Okay, your observation, I think, is accurate. Let's see here. We'll come back to the question about the legal description and the text in the map, okay?
Mhm.
Let's check these other items and see where we stand with them. Have the adjacent, adjoining, contiguous, and across from property owners been notified?
Yes.
According to the list that you have, all of those notices were sent out. Were any of them returned? All right. Okay, now let's go and talk about the correct legal description furnished in text and map. You were beginning to address that to some extent, Ms. Manson. We don't have a legal description of 7.94.08
We do not.
acres. What we've got is a legal description of other lots. The one thing that I'll have to point out to the applicant at this point is we have had a previous instance where an applicant brought in a request for a rezoning on a parcel that was non-conforming, and it could not, that we were advised by legal counsel, we could not legally approve a change. So in this case, we are not in a position where we could take action to approve and make a recommendation that this be approved by the trustees. Members of the commission, you may want to comment on that, or if you have a question about it.
I'd ask the applicants if they understand what the problem is.
We just need to change the fact that the two parcels are made up of two separate amounts of acreage. Is that what we have?
That is
That
correct.
is the problem. You actually need to have those officially merged or combined into one property parcel.
The skinny parcel is too small to be zoned FR1.
It's too small to be zoned AR1. I'm not sure when you split that.
There was a
Small.
mistake that they did at the county. They were supposed to combine them and they didn't. We didn't think it's a big deal.
Well, now it is.
Well, it's unfortunately, it is a big deal because we can't approve it the way that it is. So I guess our recommendation at this point, or I'll put it on the table for the zoning commission to consider my comment here. The recommendation that I'm thinking about is that we would advise the applicant we have of the problem, and that they could go seek to have these two parcels combined into one, and then have a survey provided that would in fact show it as one parcel, instead of it being right as it is right now. It's two separate parcels, and we can't act on that. We did that once before because we thought we could take a parcel that was out of compliance, act on it, and bring it into compliance. And we were advised by legal counsel that no, we can't do that. So with that in mind, and being aware of that, what we're telling you at this point is, in order for you to bring this forward, you would need to go ahead and get those parcels combined. Now, if you didn't want to rezone the small one, we could act on the larger parcel, but the problem with that is then you still have that other parcel that's non-conforming, and you can't build on it, you can't use it for anything. So they do need to be combined in some way for you to have what it is that you're looking to do, I think.
So which way would be easier? If I leave it and then add it later, will that be legally allowed to, or then it's stuck on its own limbo?
It's in limbo because now you'll have one property that's FR1, a skinny property that is still AR1 for some obscure reason, and you can't combine those two because they're in different zoning districts. You really need to combine them while they're both AR1.
It's much
And then move
easier
on.
to do it now before, and then you have one AR1 lot of approximately 7.9 acres.
Well, and you'll also have a combined one good legal description that describes all of it. The legal description that you provided right, there's two. The one that's for the 6.964 acres, that legal description doesn't match the survey. So that in and of itself is reason
That
enough
is,
to.
yes, good point.
To stop this.
So you need to make sure that the legal description that your surveyor is going to provide to you after it's combined, matches the map that the surveyor provides.
The other thing that your surveyor can do for you is he or she can put the easement, the gas easement that I think is along the front of the property.
We couldn't find that.
There's an instrument on the recorder's office there, an easement was granted. But that needs to be shown so that we can subtract that out from the gross acreage to get net acreage. So when your surveyor is doing all that work, hopefully they can get that easement on there and show you, subtract out the part of that easement that would serve as the net acreage.
So I have a question on that. They didn't have the easement we went to Delaware to find out because it's not showing up anywhere. But we couldn't,
I thought they said there's no easement.
There's no easement.
That some streets do not have an easement.
There's a record in the recorder's office that shows that an easement took place. There's no map of it, but it was an easement that was granted for, I think it was.
Maybe you can cite
I
the
forget the-
the
yeah,
document number.
Yeah, let me pull it up here.
So you'll have to
If
work
he's able to
through-
find it, it's in the recorder's office. It's been recorded. So one of the things that happens frequently is the information in terms of the GIS, it may lag behind a bit. Something may get recorded by the recorder's office, but then it doesn't show up. It'll end up being showing up on the GIS, but right now, what you're saying is you couldn't find it there.
we went there.
Okay.
Went from like one office to the other office.
That's the auditor's office.
We went to both of them.
Yeah.
And then
The recorder's office,
they said, it doesn't show up that you have it.
well, I'm not sure what Mr. Greenwell over here is finding, but Louis has found something.
And they couldn't find it on the survey. But they said on that map, on the survey, on both of them, they said it should say there and it didn't show up there. So
Well, the date
But-
of these things was what, 2005 or, well, 2021 for this one.
2021, and then there's one that does show May of
It may have-
2005.
Yeah.
But that one didn't make sense to me either as I was trying to use it.
Couldn't use it either.
You
It
could
didn't
write this
fit,
number.
match anything.
The document, the instrument number of the easement is 2016 dash 0002977. It's a 2-page easement.
from,
Okay, would you repeat that number for them again, please, Mr. Green?
2016 0002977. Grantor is Nitzan Israel and Nina Brand to Aspire Energy of Ohio.
and the
Um,
date on it.
The date is September 29th of 2016. It's a 2-page easement.
So it was about 9 years ago.
that, if I'm not mistaken, they asked for it and then they said they don't need it because they did the line in the other side of the street. So
Filed
they asked, we gave them the permission, and then they came back and they said, we don't need it because we put the line on the other. Originally, the line was supposed to go on our side. And they put it on the other side.
Okay, well then, I understand what you're saying. It's a problem with the recorder's office that needs to get straightened out.
Yeah,
And
maybe
again,
they could give you a
your
release.
surveyor should be able to get that straightened out for you. The other thing I would
It
like
should
to
be in
point
the
out
road
is that,
anyway. Anyway,
yes, the other
Sounds
thing,
like-
Joni's mentioning right of way, road right of way. The other thing that I would also want to point out is that because you're moving from AR1 to FR1, our zoning requires that you calculate the net acreage. And that wasn't done on this application either.
Because
You
they
just
told us-
reported the gross acreage in both places. So your surveyor can make that calculation for you so that when you revise your application, you'll have one parcel and you'll have the correct acreage numbers on it for both the gross and the net.
so the net also takes out road right of way.
Yes. So what we will do in order to give you the opportunity to do that, and rather than just rejecting your application, is because that would mean you'd lose a fee and you'd basically would be starting over. In this case, we can recess and set a date where you can come back. Given the nature of what it is that you need to do you think that you can do it? I was thinking that maybe we would want to move this forward to like a September meeting. to give you ample opportunity to get these things accomplished.
Try to call the surveyor, yeah. That's,
I'd give it 90 days.
It's gonna take.
I beg your pardon?
I would give it 90 days.
It's gonna.
Oh,
take
you're
some
thinking
time
90, not
to
just
combine those
60.
Properties, it's gonna take some time to get that through the system, I think.
So you're looking into October. You're thinking, Tom.
And if you start, I mean, in order to recess the hearing tonight without prejudice, we have to set a date certain in the future. 60 days, 90 days, whatever it turns out to be. And if you get involved in this and you see you're not going to be able to make that deadline, let the zoning inspector know
an ideal extension.
and we'll push it back. We'll give you enough time. We don't want to put it out a year and then have you just,
Well, and whatever date we set, if we set it, we have to, if we're going to recess the hearing, we have to set a date and time to go, that we will hold the hearing or recess the hearing to that point in time. And if for some reason you're not ready to do it at that point, it's possible that we could recess it again, but we will have to at least have a brief hearing in order to do that. So either we set it for September or we set it for October. But we can't move it forward if we set it in October.
I think October would be better. Just October would be better there. I know that the surveyor really busy.
Okay, so we'll set it for October. All right. Let's see, we've got a couple of things already scheduled for October.
You do?
I don't have anything on my calendar.
Oh, no, we don't. Well, potentially we have one scheduled for October 6th, but it would be a quick one, I think. Supposedly the one that we had scheduled for August the 11th, the Cannons are going to request to postpone it because they're going to be out of the country for 2 months.
Oh, okay.
So that potentially is going to be moved to October the 6th.
So on August 11th, when we open that hearing, we just recess it.
That, yeah, what I just described
Yeah.
potentially for them, that's what we'll have to do on August the 11th.
Okay.
And I verified that that's the only way that we can legally do it with the attorney.
Okay.
So we could still set it for October the 6th.
Mhm,
Have it, and instead of set it for 7:45, we'll set it for 8 o'clock.
mhm.
so
So-
what was the date on that?
October the 6th. That's a Monday. And the time would be 8 PM.
Gotcha.
Recess, yeah, this hearing's recessed to then, but you will need to amend or revise your application with the correct information.
So do you need the whole thing again with all the list of people and everything, or just the corrections of the map and the surveyor? Like all the map description?
Well, I would suggest that you look at all of the neighboring properties again and make sure that it is accurate.
Right.
And any adjustments that need to be made, you can do those and then submit it to us at that time.
What you've done should be fine.
We did more than 200 feet.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine, because when we had talked, you did the small one and the big one to make sure that it went out far enough. Just when you go, after you have those combined, go on the GIS like I showed you and do the
Double check.
200 feet and just double check your list.
Okay.
And if it's the same, just reprint that same list to me. But otherwise, just add those people on there that you need to. Because you're gonna have all the same people on there, so just add any additionals that you might.
But you don't need all the maps again, like the big map?
No,
Okay.
Just this one. The-
Right.
the-
what we
the-
need,
plus the deed.
yes, what we will need is the survey and the legal description.
And they need to
And
match,
changing
they need to
the-
match.
and- I mean, the deed, submit all that paperwork, the deed, the legal description, and the new survey that the surveyor will
Correcting on
provide to you.
The acreage on the form needs to be correct.
And
Yeah.
then, yes, and then you will be correcting the form.
Oh,
If they've combined it, then there will be one parcel ID number rather than two.
One thing you should update when you resubmit the neighboring properties worksheet the very first one on the worksheet, number 5, I think it's missing a 0 at the end. Small detail, but it's a detail.
We also didn't know about, there's a parcel for the driveway.
Right.
And it doesn't do anything.
Right.
It doesn't go anywhere.
It's just right
I
away.
just put it there.
That's fine.
Does that driveway go back to those?
There's 3
isn't that
properties in the back.
basically a CAD?
There's a small
goes
piece
to-
of, there's a really small piece of right of way that doesn't have an owner. I mean, it's up, I guess, Delaware County maybe,
I
but
think that happens when they were changing the driveway because they had to. The driveway had to be changed so they can have 3 properties on one driveway. So they did some, along the way, they had, like a way for you to move your car to the side. So I know that they changed that, so maybe that's what it is. It just doesn't go anywhere,
Okay.
the number.
You have any other questions?
Do we have a copy of the deed, or that they're gonna need a new deed for this whole property?
Well, that's why I was suggesting in terms of resubmitting the deed, because the deed may need to be updated.
Yeah.
Since you've got a deed from Smile a Lot, but it was for a different piece of property. So
I don't think it's my limit. That was for some other,
that was for a different property. I'm sorry. I got that part of it
I thought
confused.
that's, we have one deed, basically. We have one company one mortgage company. They own it.
I just want to make sure that the next time that we have everything that we need, so that we don't have an issue that we end up having to recess it again.
so the legal description that's in the deed now calls for 6.964 acres, which is not going to be the correct total acreage. And in order to get the correct legal description for the combined property, you may have to create a new deed and sell it to yourself with a new deed. This is something the auditor is going to have to walk through.
I'll have to go to the, it's in Unicom.
Yeah, because it's really not our issue, but the issue that we'll have is that the legal description, which is what's certified by the county engineer for tax purposes, has to match the survey, or the survey has to match the legal description. And in this case, with the existing deeds, that's not going to be possible. So
that's why you would definitely need, and he will have, your surveyor will rewrite the legal description to match the survey that he does
Yes.
for the entire 7.9 acres, whatever it turns out to be. And what Tom's suggesting is you may have to have a new deed. You will have to have a new deed, but you may have to actually be selling it to yourself, so to speak.
They figure out how to do that.
Yeah. We don't know either, for sure, but we know that it potentially can be a problem. And we want to avoid that.
But if I go to them, to my lender with my surveyor as a whole unit, they'll have to figure out the change that their legal would match to that.
Yes,
The deed.
yes, good point.
And I guess is it part of the area you're dealing with anyway, the 5.057 acres over here? That's
that's somebody else's.
that's now somebody else's, but I did notice on the description of the tract
Right.
that they talk about being on the center line of Harlem Road, and it is not Harlem Road there. So whoever you had writing this up for you was just not in the right place.
Is that the one that's dated in May?
March 2021.
No, that's 2021. Okay.
But that's the deed for the property to the south that you.
It is
sold.
not this particular property, but it is gonna cause problems for that person eventually if they're. The description
It's
is
a walk.
just wrong. It's.
Okay. All right, so we will recess. We haven't recessed yet, but we will recess to October 6th at 8 p.m.
One last thing, if you have future plans for the property, and that's not our concern, we don't need to know what they are or what, but you might want to take that into consideration when you're doing the survey. that maybe you do it all at once, even though we only see the complete survey. You might want to look into the future a bit.
So they not have to pay twice.
I have twins. We paid twice. It doesn't help.
Well, that was not supposed to be it. They made a mistake, so all of it started with the surveyor making mistakes, and then we never actually caught that, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Thank you.
Okay, I will make a motion, formal motion then to
Yes, we
recess,
need one.
recess the hearing HTZC 25-08 until October 6th at 8 p.m.
Thank you, Joni. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Lou. Moved by Joni and seconded by Lou. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we are now in recess on the hearing and we will reconvene on October 6th at 8 p.m. All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Hope you get this all resolved quickly. Okay.
That 5.07 acres, you said that could be in conflict for future. So I think you said it could be for zoning reasons as Harlem Road, I believe you said.
Oh,
Is that, because one of the neighbors, she just got her mail today, delivered to her about this meeting, so I think that's probably her, that's why I'll let her know. She should go to the auditor and get that fixed too.
I think she might actually be online.
Yeah, I think she is. Well, she just jumped off.
Right.
I
Okay.
called her on there
We
earlier.
need to bring the meeting back into session.
I can
Yeah.
let her know.
yeah.
So this is a general question.
In a limbo.
What the problem was here,
You find it, Joni?
up here.
I was like,
I'm not gonna
which
get-
way do I
I'm
need to
not
go?
gonna go.
Which way do I need to go?
That's Brandy Sullivan.
It is, yes. Yeah, she was on.
This was her, the description of her tract.
Okay.
For some reason, the description is all about,
Oh, yeah. I
being
put a note
alone.
on here saying Harlan Road. Okay.
it's done twice.
Yeah, because they bought the land from.
It's the one for the 5.06.
Okay.
Yeah, I assume the surveyor just kind of cut and paste from previous surveys.
Might have, yeah.
Got it.
And
I'll
it's
let her
got,
know.
and it's got the county engineer's stamp on it. Right? They approved it.
Yeah, a description approved for transfer. So, yeah, the county engineer really screwed up there too.
I don't see it soon, but just figure I'll let her know.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
should be fairly easy for her to get that fixed.
Okay. All right. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and main thing going in and making sure, checking it out, because if we're finding it as potential error, that's why Joni's saying it could become then an issue down the road.
Yeah. for future.
Right. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Have a good night.
Please, thank you.
All right, folks, we've recessed the hearing. So now we're back into our regular workshop meeting. Scott, it's just us.
Before we get too far in, can I ask a quick question just for knowledge, just so I understand better? For an for an AR1, you have to have 300 feet of lot frontage, right?
To be conforming.
To be conforming. So why would they have been allowed to split this 5.057 lot off without 300 feet of lot frontage?
Mistake.
What?
Mistake.
Okay.
Well, I guess they can do a lot split without, do they have to check with our zoning to make sure
No.
that they can do a lot split, but they don't check our zoning to see if it's conforming or not.
So then why would somebody have been granted a building permit? Would they have had to go to the BZA to be allowed to build on that?
The 5.07 piece
Yeah.
of property.
If the lot,
It's conforming.
if the lot is an AR1 lot,
And I don't know
if
why-
it's already an approved lot,
Well, it was
They don't-
split in
they don't have to-
2021.
They have to get
Oh, it's 260 feet.
It was split.
notification through the zoning office that it is an approved lot. So potentially, Mike could not grant them the permit that they need in order to build on it.
Okay.
But that would be an issue that would come to would only come to him when it's a referral back to him from or a request comes to him from the building department, the county engineer's office.
Doesn't he, does he grant permits to build a house?
No,
No. Oh, he doesn't grant them.
no,
No, he has to sign off at the very end
yeah.
that it's legit. In this case, the original property that existed had 300 feet of frontage. And when they sold it to Randy Sullivan, they removed a 45-foot wide strip between the two of them. They moved it from her property to their property. So now she's down to 260 feet of frontage, and they're up to 360, which may be enough to give them a 60-foot flag lot access. So I think that's why they wanted the extra.
Brandy's now,
I'm
Brandy's
confused.
now on the hook for not having frontage.
Yes.
Potentially, yes.
Oh,
Well, because it was split in 2021.
Just before she bought it.
So she bought it with not enough frontage. And then was allowed to build, even though shouldn't have been
It's a
allowed.
non-conforming lot.
You wouldn't be prevented from building. You might need a variance.
yeah, she may have gone to the BZA.
Yeah.
We don't know. that.
Okay, all right, thank
I mean,
you.
nobody's gonna say you got 5 acres, but we're not gonna let you build a house.
I was just curious. I
Well,
was just
they-
trying to
this
understand
case,
like
it
what
was-
the
yeah.
process is. So,
In this case, it sounds like something that got created by one or more agencies that was involved in the process. But we have a lot of lots that were created before zoning that don't meet the minimum requirements.
oh, I understand
All
that.
of those
but-
are non-conforming.
but this
they can
was
still, they're
definitely
still a
created
legal lot
after
and they can
zoning.
build on it.
No, yeah, I get that. Okay, thank you. Thank you for walking me through that.
Okay,
Well, and I was gonna differ with the comment that somebody at the county or the GIS screwed up. Because usually when people do those transfers, they only wanna pay for the strip. So they describe the strip. And then it's up to them to combine it. And they don't wanna do the whole, I guess the distance changes or the cost changes per the distance.
Mhm.
But then I looked it up and both of those descriptions which you had were full descriptions, so they really should be one, they should just be two pieces, that strip shouldn't be there. So somebody somewhere.
messed up.
processing it. What we recommend, do it in the end result, but they don't have to, they can just do the strip.
What-
Weird that it's such a.
When I read the legal description for the property that was sold, it starts with 6 some odd acres. And then what they transfer is what they described was the 5.07 acres. And you're kind of left wondering,
What happened?
what's left? They don't describe the piece that's left behind. And they don't call out that it's only 0.7 or 0.978 acres. That's just kind of, you have to take the starting acreage, subtract the ending acreage, and you're left with that little strip, but it doesn't say
Yeah,
that.
and that strip should have really been added to another parcel.
Should, yeah, at
Yeah.
some point, which they're gonna do that now.
And that's, yeah,
That's
that's
what
what,
they're gonna
that's
have.
what we're telling them the problem is now. Because
If they just wanted to sit on it and not do anything, they could do that forever. But since they want to do something with it, they're gonna have to fix the problem.
I guess that's right. They could sit on it and not have
Yeah.
to do it until such time as somebody else would want to do something with the property. Okay, well, Scott, Article 17, I guess we're down to that. Thank you for your comments about that and checking on that, though. I thought it was potentially going to be helpful having you here as we had that discussion tonight. Since your office recommended that the zoning be approved for the property from
Well, yeah,
AR1 to FR1. But you don't deal with the kinds of issues that we were raising here tonight when it comes to your office. Am I correct?
Right, well, we don't, yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying, yeah,
More of should it, is it reasonable to make the change, or all the T's crossed?
yeah, I got you. I wondered why that happened, and then I got to thinking about it, and I arrived at what you just stated, that that wouldn't be something your office would be expected to address.
Yeah, and I think Brad mentioned that, I mean, he wrote the first draft and checked it, of the staff report. I think it mentioned frontage. Which, once it's rezoned, it's that same old thing, but once it's rezoned, then the frontage is more flexible. And how it got that way.
Yeah, well, and
Those are the transfers we do send to the township. I don't remember who was here.
he would have to go, what legal counsel is advising us when the property isn't meeting the requirements that we have in our zoning, is that they would have to go to the BZA first and get it approved in order, if they don't have 300 feet, going back to what she said, it needs to be, they have to get approval for it to be 260 feet, and then they can potentially get it rezoned. Because we've got a bunch of lots that's going to potentially affect. Okay, we've got one property owner over there who makes sure that no one can get their lot approved if they don't meet the minimum requirement of 300 feet. Okay, enough of that. 17, you went through this, Scott, and have made some recommendations here in terms of some changes, and they are relatively minor. You want to just tell us about what you think needs to be done with this article. It's the last one that we were planning to really deal with for the time being. Did you say woohoo?
I love all these article reviews.
We've already approved the PID.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think there were a lot of things at first, and then all this is under the umbrella of, we kind of hope that nobody uses the street industrial.
Mhm.
But rather than just get rid of it, we're actually allowing for some areas which might be next to an existing. I don't know who would use this, for some reason, they're only having non-tax districts.
We may already have one or two.
Well, there's one that hasn't been changed, just across the road. The old Ready Mix site
Yeah,
is industrial. I was gonna look on the map again. I printed out the map.
but I don't know that we have any others. Do we?
Well, I'm gonna look.
We don't have that great big map hanging in the zoning office anymore. It's easier to see it on that one.
Yeah.
I missed that big old map.
Gotta talk to the director of zoning. He may not want it.
Couple of big nuts at one point.
From
At
the
one point, I
color,
was thinking maybe we could just,
it looks like a planned industrial district, actually, not straight industrial.
Oh, where is that?
That's the old Ready
one.
Mix site. And here from the color, it's a dark pink plant. Planned industrial district.
and I think one of the reasons that they went, now that you're mentioning that, one of the reasons that they went with the PID is because under conditional uses, there's the sexually oriented businesses that are permitted in ID.
Oh, that might be.
Scott, are we still in the position where, I mean, that ended up going into this industrial district area back when zoning was being adopted, sexually oriented businesses, because
We were told
They
we
were-
had to have some.
yeah,
place
they
for
were
it.
advised that they had to have it somewhere. It had to be permitted somewhere. So we can't eliminate industrial district
That's
because
where
we
it
don't
was-
have this anywhere else.
Yeah, that's where we stuck it.
It's real hard to tell from the colors. I'd have to, that's on 37, that's, what's his name, Edwards,
Yeah,
Edwards.
I don't know if that, was thinking about that property up there, but I wasn't sure if it was actually ever zoned.
And then you got
Industrial.
Bachman's property. And again, I can't really tell
When
from
you,
that
when you
color.
look at the electronic, the PDF, it's obvious, that's it, that colors.
That,
You look at the PDF.
Yeah.
Right. That right there.
that's the old ready mix site
That,
is a PID.
Check on the 37 and the Bachman.
So what is that?
It was Edwards up there.
that pink.
Edwards, yeah.
Yeah.
Magenta color is,
So it's not this light pink.
no, it's planned industrial district.
Okay, and if you see, this looks more purple to me, and that looks pinker. That doesn't look, I'm looking at this one here. That's neighborhood commercial. What if you go all the way up to 37?
My computer died or I
All of this stuff came out.
it's just a.
The last page here. Hold on.
Yeah, industrial,
I'm inclined to not.
neighborhood, commercial and industrial.
And then that one,
Neighborhood commercial, that's the same.
okay,
And go with the recommendations that Scott's giving.
With addition?
so there is no there's no straight industrial district. Zone, there's nothing zoned industrial.
Okay.
Not, okay,
It's
what
the
about,
plain commercial.
down on, Venture? What are these,
Yeah, that's the same. There's no pink,
that's
no light
Cy
pink.
Schmidt's old place.
same thing.
Okay, so they're all, okay,
So what did you find?
No industrial. We currently have no industrial districts.
Okay, so
straight-
the
straight
ones
up.
that we are making reference to are PIDs
either PID or neighborhood commercial.
or neighborhood.
We have one planned industrial district, and that's the ready mix site.
Okay,
The
the
only-
one that's up there on 36, 37, the Edwards property is commercial then?
Neighborhood commercial.
Okay. And that's what Bachman's over here on
Is neighborhood commercial.
Central, yeah.
So Scott, you were saying that either, if we leave it in, we run
We
the
are
risk.
in because we have to stick sexually oriented.
We
business
can't take it out because we don't have sexually oriented businesses anywhere else.
allowed anywhere else.
What
Let's see
What
we're
gives-
industrial.
what gives a manufacturing company incentive to go with planned industrial rather than straight industrial?
That's why I said I'm kind of surprised that everybody's through 25-ish years have been willing to just do planned districts mostly because it means more work on their part. But I think when they have initial discussions with townships, the township says, we're much more open to a planned district where we can see the details that you're going to bring us.
And that's accurate 100%.
I'm not, there's probably a legal question as to whether, I mean, the original PUD, the purpose of a PUD was mixed uses. And a Delaware County case many years ago got away with saying, well, we're doing open space in our residential areas, and so that's the mix. And a judge said, okay. So that's how we got all the planned residentials. And most planned commercials have more than one use, even though they're all commercial, I mean.
Yeah.
So, and then all these other planned districts sort of went from there, whether they were really mixes of uses or not.
So
So,
we use them frequently. I mean,
Mhm.
not a great deal, but we've used it several times, the PCD.
yeah, and when we have those early, when someone calls us, we never try to direct them toward a just traditional straight district. So if they go along with it, I guess it isn't that different, but there is more prep work.
Well, part of the reason too would be with the townships still having the right of a referendum. If the plan district will usually then end up with more likely to get support and not have somebody move into wanting to push for a referendum on the ballot.
Because you can narrow it down and say, well, they're only gonna do.
Yeah, narrow the function, what the use is and put in restrictions that they have to abide by. People tend to be more accepting of that than if it's just open-ended where they can go in and do anything that's permitted in the district with no controls.
No controls and no, they don't have to ask.
Right, they don't have to ask, as long as they comply with.
Setbacks and uses, but. No other, they just have to meet the base standards of your code.
I have been reading a lot in the news about data centers and how they can be very undesirable. Do we allow them someplace? Or I'm not sure we even have them as permitted or a prohibited use.
I don't know that we have anything that specifically identifies it as a permitted use, meaning data center,
Mhm.
but
But if
Do
it's not
we have
listed
it in our
as-
definitions? Probably not.
That not.
Probably not. But,
well, let's deal with the industrial district issue that we have here with regard to this document. We have it. And what is it that we would like to do with this now? Let's walk through it with Scott.
Yeah.
Okay, 1701. Scott has made a change in the purpose paragraph.
Yeah, other than that, I've just tried to make everything more consistent with some language and some of the other things that we've already changed. Okay,
Yeah.
what that is, I don't have what I.
The rewording is to bring it consistency there.
Yeah.
Looks fine to me.
I don't see anything on the first page.
Anybody have something else on the first page?
I would, it's not. Under permitted uses, we've got basically warehouses and storage facilities,
Mhm.
which we also allow under planned commercial. And most, like the storage facility on Fancher Road, I think it's a PCD.
Yeah.
Do we need to leave it in industrial or just? Is there anywhere else where another zoning district that would accommodate those types of storage units, warehouses, logistics facilities?
Well, if you read a bunch of these things, a lot of these things are allowed in planned commercial, like business offices, repair services. I think we might have even allowed research facilities in planned commercials.
I don't know. Wouldn't see it as a problem if it's in two places.
Unless
I'm
we're
not
trying to.
not trying to encourage ID, but
Right, and so if you reduce the number of permitted uses to I guess sexually oriented business, and then true manufacturing or repair or research, and leave it at that, would that help limit?
so what items would
possible
you
use.
take out?
I would take out A and B.
I think what you're saying is the things that are more impactful, you'd want more control over. And so maybe you'd want to get a better buffer and you'd want to direct them towards some kind of planned district. Interpreted.
But that gets back to how do you encourage somebody to go for a planned district other than by saying, it'll be easier for you because, we'll have some input and then hopefully we won't stand in your way. Whereas if you just go with a straight industrial zoning, the township's going to fight you, or the residents are going to fight you. I don't know beyond that.
So you would take out A and B
And then in terms of business offices,
and E?
unless related to the manufacturing and research and repair and service. So, and I was looking at, I didn't really intend to get into that this much. Looking at one of the other planned districts. Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at 18, Temporary structures, commercial. Um. So here under permitted uses, this is now Article 18, which is the planned industrial district. Commercial establishments or uses normally associated with and designed to serve the industrial establishments or their employees and approved as part of the development plan. So maybe we could cite the offices, that we're not trying to turn this into into an office park. There are other districts and overlay districts that are assigned to that use. But if you've got a certain type of a manufacturing business, you'll need an office, and that would be included as part of related to the manufacturing function or use.
So under permitted uses, you take out A and B.
And E.
And then for E, you would
Business-
modify it so that it would say business offices as related to
Yeah, unless related to the manufacturing,
manufacturing industry.
whatever's left, which is C, D, and F.
Yeah.
Well,
What do you think, Scott?
I agree if that's what you want to do. If those are the only business offices, then it would seem like those would already be captured under C and D and F, because they're all going to have some kind of an office. So maybe you don't really need that.
You just take it out entirely.
If you only want them to relate to those other permitted uses, then I don't think a business
So you don't think we need it at all?
separate.
We could just take it out. So it would be, I mean, in other words, a person who develops some kind of a manufacturing industry under this, they would still be within their, they would still be permitted to have an office.
Yeah.
Without it being specifically identified here as business offices, as a permitted use. Well, it makes sense to me that way.
Yeah,
I-
I mean, any industry is
that'd be
gonna have a
secondarily.
business
Yeah,
office.
that'd be
Yeah, right,
secondary.
that's what I mean, yeah. Whereas this makes it seem like if you say business offices, that it would, it just, that was included because that was a completely separate function and potential use. Not related to manufacturing, so if we could just delete it.
Because you could have if they're
So we will delete A, B, and E.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else on this page?
I was going to ask Mike if he would. Mike, this refers to the fees for such permits. For temporary structures, and I just wanted to make sure that we had that in the. Well, Brittany, do you have a copy of the fee? You have a copy?
I wish. It's too hard to go back at this point. I wish that whole paragraph.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's a fee for temporary permit, yeah, temporary use permit.
Temporary portable storage structure permit.
Is that the only one that's in there?
It seems like that applies to any use in the township. It's too bad that we don't just have that.
Yeah, it's a construction trailer.
Yeah,
And then it just cleans that up and all these districts don't have to have that.
yeah, yeah.
We're kind of too far gone now.
Next time.
Maybe in 5 years we'll.
Okay, well, if he doesn't have the fee for it, it's one that he should add.
And maybe when he's going to go out for the one that he's asking for the next trustees meeting. That we talked about last week. It just caught my attention that we have fees called out in the resolution that aren't called out on the price sheet.
Should do a search for the.
Well, that's something for the zoning inspector to address then.
Yes.
So it's sitting right there waiting to be said. If removing all these uses from the industrial district, are we just left with the red light district?
That is quite literally what I was thinking.
Is that all
I'm
that's
like,
left?
all you're leaving in here is sexually oriented.
Do we just have a zoning code just for that?
We've got the enclosed manufacturing industries. and
That
enclosed
requires a conditional
repair
use.
Activities and research facilities.
Yeah.
But if that's the reason, and I looked again in the index and in the table of contents, and I don't see any other place. for it.
No, that's why it's got stuck in
That's
there.
why it's where it is.
And it's
Yeah.
been there for as long as we were told that we had to have it in there someplace. And it was specifically put there because we did,
And then all
and
the,
because at the time that we were doing this, the only area designated for industrial was up on 37.
yeah,
It's a tiny little. And we decided, we have to have it someplace. We're gonna put it in the least likely to be used and the smallest area.
and right now, we don't have an area specifically identified for industrial
No.
district.
And I think that's why. I think that a lot of places do that with. Those types of businesses, and that's why you always see. The Lions Dens not in a strip next to Walmart, you see them right off of a freeway.
Mhm.
Like,
And a truck stop.
or a truck stop, yeah. Like you don't see. Those kinds of stores chilling next to Maurice's and TJ Maxx.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll never have anybody use it, but it's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
The condi-
We're finished with page one, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Page two.
So these are now conditional uses. This is where the BZA gets to weigh in. And like we did with signs, we took the BZA out of the process as much as we could. So to allow any use of a commercial nature as part of it, I wouldn't give them the option. I would just remove it. And to go down through these, other than G, which we've already talked about. Quarries, the township used to have quarries and clay pits. And there's, there could be somebody finds a valuable resource under the ground. I don't know. You can't tell them not to dig it up.
Well, you're not telling them you can't do it. It's just a conditional use.
Right. But which of these conditional uses don't we want it?
Oh, I see.
So I would say any use of a commercial nature, I'm not comfortable with that.
It's pretty broad.
Circuses, carnivals, transient enterprises. It's here for a few days and gone. I suppose.
It'd be funny since you don't have any, it'd be funny for someone to rezone. It's almost like that's well, obviously you have to rezone it first, and it's almost like you're gonna use the parking lot for that occasionally. You're not gonna rezone just for
One event.
Well, unless you're building a small amusement park of some sort or something.
Building a fairgrounds.
Or you want a training facility.
Yeah,
We're gonna compete with Delaware,
hope not,
the
but
Hartford Fair.
hope not. But,
So,
Regarding Tom's comment about any use of a commercial nature, he's recommending that it be deleted. Reaction to that, Scott?
it does seem oddly broad.
It is extremely
You might
broad.
want that if you already had a bunch zoned that way and you wanted them to convert over into more commercial instead of industrial.
Right.
Oh, and so.
I mean, I'd be in favor of taking it out.
yeah, it makes no difference to me.
All right, so we're going to delete that one.
and as we were saying with B, is somebody gonna rezone for a 1-week event
Yeah,
or a permanent, a permanent amusement park? But this is transient enterprises. And again, I would argue that we don't need it in this part of the zoning resolution.
It's not allowed anyplace else either, though. Even as a conditional use, I don't think.
Well, I think
Well,
it would be an event. You go to a farmer and you rent his, a field for a week. and you put on an event and it becomes, it's not a rezoning. It,
Yeah,
you know,
that's the difference.
Yeah.
If it's for a one-time event versus this would be a permanent use. You're changing the zoning to allow for it on a permanent basis.
Are you
And
allowed
that's-
to?
I don't,
like,
why would we even want that?
Are you allowed to set up like a carnival somewhere in the township?
They'd have to get permission from somebody.
But like, say, for
Yeah, like an
example,
event
Well,
permit.
we do have like an event.
Harlem
permit.
Heritage does it.
That's what I was gonna say, like, say, we wanted to set up a Harlem Township Carnival once a year, like, are we
Well, they do
allowed
it.
to do that? Okay.
They do it.
We get
Okay.
cleared by the trustees.
I was just curious what the process was for
Yeah.
that. Not that I'm planning a carnival or anything.
Oh, and they're using the park. Or as Scott mentioned, it could be, be done in a parking lot. We don't
Okay.
have any churches that do that, but
Yeah.
there are,
Some churches do.
some
just not
churches.
in the-
Yeah,
the
as far as
township.
I know, they haven't done it in Harlem Township, but churches do it.
Like St. John Newman has a huge community festival every year with fair rides. They don't do the animals anymore, but there are a lot of like traveling little animal petting zoos and
Yeah.
stuff.
And I'm not sure if that may be what they had in mind for this, but you don't need zoning for
You
that.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
That would be an
Alright.
event permit.
Let's take it out.
Mhm.
All right,
Remove
that one comes out.
out too.
Number C, petroleum product storage areas. We have one in a neighborhood commercial. It's the Bachman at the end of the east end of
Mhm.
Center Village Road. But he's not zoned industrial. He's zoned neighborhood commercial.
Yeah, I'm a little uncomfortable with him being neighborhood commercial, but yeah. He
It's
was,
it's specifically,
I think we leave it in industrial. with
yeah.
The idea that that was a mistake over there.
okay, so quarries, so we have tank, petroleum storage areas, quarries and other activities. I'm okay with that. Freight or trucking terminals, that would be enclosed warehouse or storage activities. I would say that is, in my mind, a use closer to planned commercial rather than industrial. They're not making anything, they're just bringing stuff in and out.
Freight or trucking terminals?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really consider them commercial.
I don't either.
Okay,
I see it more as industrial
Yeah.
over there.
But is it okay that it may only be in planned industrial? I mean,
Yeah,
probably don't want coming and
well,
going.
hopefully it's not
Do we
gonna be
have
something.
light industrial?
Outdoor storage, display or sale of
If it-
raw materials, supplies.
If it's in planned industrial, fine. If it's not, it's friendly or it has to be someplace probably.
manufacturing, processing, warehousing, and industrial service activities located and maintained within the limits of the development standards of the planned industrial district,
I don't consider that necessarily freight or trucking.
warehousing, industrial. All right, so as a conditional use. Stretch it. Outdoor storage, display, or sale of raw materials, supplies, equipment, or products. Like what?
It seems
Lumber.
like it's probably in a bunch of our other things too.
Well, in a lot of cases, outdoor storage is not allowed.
And
Specifically,
in the industrial district, this says it isn't permitted, well, it's not a permitted use, but it's a conditional use.
yeah,
It's it was a permitted use and we got rid of it. Enclosed warehouse. or
They've
something. And then we said it's conditional
Yeah.
to have outdoor storage.
so maybe we put enclosed storage.
What if it says provided such use is shielded from that language that we used for shielded from the street and then the lots around it, where did we do that?
I guess I'm seeing that as kind of also though being related to like enclosed manufacturing industry. So there's a manufacturing as a permitted use.
Yeah.
And then this becomes something, okay, now we've got some other materials that relate to what they're doing, but they need to get approval for it because now they're putting it outside instead of keeping it all inside.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's, I could see somebody manufacturing, landscaping equipment, weed whackers or something and.
Or
lawnmowers,
like trusses sometimes,
trusses,
they
yeah.
may manufacture
multi-purpose.
trusses and then they run out of room inside, so they store them outside.
so do we want to say outdoor storage related to permitted manufacturing? Something that ties it back to the permitted uses, manufacturing or repair or research, and that this is outdoor storage related to that. And that becomes the conditional use that has to be, it's kind of a step towards a planned district.
So we would just add at the end, our products related to manufacturing.
Or permitted uses.
Related to permitted use.
Oh, move it over to permitted
No,
use.
no, but just say that
Has to be related.
it has to be related to something that's permitted.
Related to, yeah.
So at the end of that.
Oh,
sentence,
I'm
you could
sorry.
Add,
So you're saying we put at the end related to a permitted use? I missed that part. Okay. Not limiting it to just manufacturing.
If we could go back to E, freight and trucking terminals, and planned industrial district, we have any use of an industrial or a commercial nature not already provided for by this resolution, which is very broad, which could include freight or trucking terminals
Good.
in a planned district instead of in this non-planned district.
Straight, yeah.
But it technically is blanketed somewhere else if you want to take it out.
And it's kind of, I was thinking, once we get through the straight, I know that we want it to be done with this, but I would drag in the planned industrial to review that at this, because the two of them are tied together, and just to leave the planned industrial hanging, I think.
It's already approved.
The PI,
We
this,
did it already.
when did we do?
In February 14th, 2025,
Jeez,
approved,
okay,
Yeah,
revised.
okay.
we just approved it.
Having so much fun, I forgot.
So much fun you are.
And that takes us to the end of G.
Okay,
So let's,
so we've got A, B, C, and D. That becomes F. G becomes F, right?
B, C, D, E. Wait, I've got,
Get relayed.
No, I'm
So
sorry,
it
E.
depends-
It becomes E, not
depends-
not F.
So are we getting rid of the freight and trucking terminals? Is that what the decision was?
I left it in.
I just brought it up to get a sense of.
Well, then that is E. Or-
We have
A, B,
Petroleum
C,
storage is
D, and
A.
sexually oriented businesses becomes E,
B,
right?
C.
Yeah.
E.
Okay,
I personally would like the freighter trucking terminals to be covered in a planned district versus a straight district. I think that has potential to create a lot of residential disruption.
Well, that's why it's under conditional use.
Okay.
What if it had that same language as outdoor storage where it says related to the permitted uses?
again,
Just a standalone.
it may be
Oh.
related to one of the other permitted uses.
Yeah, like
You
the,
know, I mean, you'd have a
industry
terminal.
that's making something can also ship it out.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay,
So
so
they
add
have a
related-
loading dock and they
Right.
have they may have 2 or 3, 4 trucks.
Well,
Yeah.
I said that, but
So
That's
maybe
probably
that
already-
one, freight or trucking terminals, again, related to a permitted use.
I mean, but a loading dock, that would already be part of the
I was gonna say it's already,
The manufacturing.
building, the manufacturing business.
Or receiving.
doesn't
thing.
need to be said. Unless you
But
want-
this, I don't, maybe this was not the intent of that. I think you're probably onto something there. This was probably included because it was seen as,
It's standalone.
Shipping.
yeah,
A
standalone activity.
Freight terminal.
Maybe we should take it out.
Now, could they be referring to, say it's Kroger distribution center or a Walmart distribution center.
Yeah,
And they might not be loading and unloading, but they may have 10 extra trucks in case one breaks down and they're sitting on the side. Would that be considered a trucking terminal? Because they're sitting in a terminal waiting to be used for a later date or be used if needed, or would that just be parking lots?
So technically, redistribution centers aren't included in here at all that I can see.
no,
But not necessarily just distribution center, but anywhere that uses truck. If a truck is sitting, not being loaded or unloaded with whatever the product is, would that be considered sitting in a terminal? Or
No,
does it have to be like sitting at the building? That would be my only thing. I didn't know if that would just be considered parking their vehicles. Cause that would be large trucking, large freight.
So instead of, if, with Kroger as an example, which is a distribution center
Yeah.
for that particular company, as opposed to, let's say, Yellow Freight, carries freight for everybody. The use is similar, but not, I mean, in one case you had, it's all Kroger, and the other case, it's a mix of, it's one carrier. Would the use be any less obtrusive one way or the other? I don't see it. I don't see they'd be that different.
I just wasn't sure if it would make a
Mhm.
difference.
Okay.
and I feel like what you're saying is incidental to the business, which would be like parking.
Yeah,
Versus like an actual freight terminal. I think the intent of that is a little different.
yeah, and I was just wondering if
Right.
that's similar or if that would make it different. That's. I mean, they're not gonna be sitting there making all kinds of noise while they're parked.
Yeah, and I don't know that we're gonna police tractors and trailers, you know.
I don't think we're not saying that it can't be allowed anywhere in the township. I think we're just saying maybe it belongs more in a planned district that we have a little bit more control over.
so as a recommendation you're making is that we delete it, am I correct, Brittany?
Yes.
Believe it.
Even as a conditional use.
And
Even
let-
as a conditional
And
use?
let them go for a planned district. Where we have some,
Anyone object to that, then that's fine, I don't have a problem taking it out. All right, so
He's going.
that comes out, then that means
Reletter.
sexually oriented becomes D. Damn. All right, Andy. Maybe that's.
Second letter.
We couldn't let it be.
All right,
We had to remove
Page-
at least two.
page 3. Prohibited uses.
Scott, I think your A's got a double negative, no use not specifically authorized. Which
Yeah,
is confusing to me.
I think it was better as uses. Just keep it as it was.
Okay.
I have a quick
Thought we had
question.
done that somewhere else, but if that sounds better now, fine, sorry.
So we're going back to the word that was there, uses.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't 18 in planned industrial district. We have no use, not specifically. Yeah, that's where you got it from.
Well, then what do we want to do then? Want to
Just keep uses.
Just keep it
Yeah.
uses.
stay with
Yeah.
users?
Sorry. Brittany, Ashley,
I do have a question. I know that we have covered the sexually oriented businesses. And we're just kind of shoving them over here so that they're just shoved somewhere. I did read through them and number 4 is not realistic for a sexually oriented business. By any means. Not sure if anybody's experienced, but it's not.
Don't care.
But
Makes it even harder.
it would make, I mean, it would make it impossible, literally for them to run a business, telling them they have to be 6 feet apart. It's not COVID times. I'm just saying, I don't know if legally you can tell them you have to keep your employees 6 feet apart if they're nude.
I thought we originally got all this language from ORC 2097.
I just wasn't sure. I was
What I
reading it
thought.
and I'm like. I can
Yeah,
tell you
unless
that's
there's
not
some
realistic.
unless there's some reason to change something in this section, I really don't want to change any of the wording here.
you don't want to touch it.
I don't want to touch it, that's right.
It has to be somewhere, it has to be done. but- I was just reading through.
Because then we can say this was approved 25 years ago. It was legally approved at that time. Scott, is there a reason to change any of it?
I haven't
Did the
heard any-
Ohio Revised Code change?
I haven't heard any discussion about it since that was big news
I mean,
there for a while and then it kind of went away.
Yeah, it sort of died out, right?
Doing a lot of changes in that
The
area
way-
of business.
The way you read it, you have to be 6 feet away from somebody if you're not wearing any clothes or anytime.
If you're not wearing clothes.
All right.
So performing an employee's duty shall appear on the premises in a state of nudity, which could be topless, which they're gonna be. Except where the employee appears on stage at least 24 inches above the main floor level of the adult business, and employees at least 6 feet away from the nearest employee or customer. That's not realistic by any stretch. I mean, you don't have to change it, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
For a business like that, if you do end up having somebody come in and wanna put one in. I mean,
So be it.
a business is business, but I'm just saying, you can't expect it. to be
I guess
6 feet
they
away
won't
from
wanna put one.
I still say, let's not change it.
And the last thing, nothing in this section shall be deemed to conflict with ORC chapter 2907. So if it does,
Yeah, if it conflicts with the revised code,
You can deal with them. when it comes up.
yeah.
The code wins.
yeah, the code wins, exactly.
That's the reason I said, has there been any changes in the revised code that we should make note of in terms of changing anything in this section? And otherwise, my preference is to leave
Leave it
whatever
alone.
language is
Refer
here
to it and put it all.
alone.
Yeah, I definitely recall Sue Rashi telling how this came about as the only female on an all-male board. She had-
That's right.
had-
At the time she
had to
was,
deal with
wasn't
it.
she? Yeah.
I mean, at some point, somebody has to be the one to talk about it. I mean, it's 2025 people, come on.
Well, it wasn't when this was written.
No, it's not the 1800s, we're not wearing petticoats.
Okay, well, under prohibited uses, are we changing A as was suggested? I'm not sure what happened.
We're going
Yeah,
You
back-
made
We're
reference-
going back to uses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping
All
the
right.
uses.
And then in E, except
E.
as specifically permitted in section 1703,
So we gotta change G.
yeah, it, whatever. I think it's D.
What?
Did you catch that, Scott?
No.
Under E, where it says except as specifically permitted in section 1703, that letter's gonna have to change to whatever the.
I think it became D, didn't it?
I think so. Temporary
Yeah.
structures.
Became D.
D, yeah.
So I'm okay with prohibited uses the way it is.
Okay. I don't have any other things
No.
in prohibited uses unless someone else does. We'll go on to 1706 development standards.
Ooh, more changes here.
I thought it was best to avoid huge uses, although coming in with large acreage is gonna be a big issue, so.
Yep.
But I just thought about having a square footage, maximum square footage, and I looked at some other common use sizes out there. And you can see that in blue if you have color.
Mhm.
Bottom typical use cases, that's not to be added, that's just for reference.
It's just a comment.
Very useful comment. I mean,
Yeah, so
I
that's
wouldn't
why you
change it.
picked the 15,000 as the limit then.
Yeah, it was somewhere in the middle.
I don't know. I don't have any objection to going with the 15,000.
And I imagine that, again, if a company wants to use the district and wants to build
They can go to
a
the
150
plan.
by 150, they can go to the BZA, get a variance.
They can do that or they can go to a plan district.
Go to a plan district.
Okay,
So would we want, just for argument's sake, to make that instead of 15,000, make it 10,000 square feet? To try to, if it's gonna be a significant sized building, that you really, it encourages you to go to a plan district to get that size.
What, do we have any limitations in the plan district? What are the building size?
I think it's just whatever, come to the board and talk to us, show us what you wanna do. Does it make any sense to restrict it even more and just say 10,000 in light manufacturing, small scale scale warehousing, startup operations? And if you get bigger, you gotta go in a different direction.
comments? Tom's suggesting we lower it to 10. Does anybody think that 10 is too small?
So that would be 150 feet by 100 feet. That's pretty, for 15,000.
Yeah. That's a good sized barn.
How about we have bigger pole barns in the township?
I
Brittany
think
must have found something.
I
down there.
found it. I was looking for something. Well, there was an
Dave Jackson's barns up there are bigger than
there
that.
was
I
an
think so, too.
example of a 5,000 square feet building in the Big Walnut area. We have this, in case anybody knows this, a Wendy's.
Antonio's, that's about. to go
Yeah,
with
where Antonio's.
Oh, and they
Pizza.
just closed
So
down.
these are 5,000, if that helps give you a little bit of reference. 5,000, a Wendy's, 5,000. So 10,000 would be 2 Wendy's.
Well, I think, I'm not sure how big that barn is of his up there that he's held events in the past. I've been in it, but
Yeah, me too.
I'd say it's probably close to the 15,000 square feet.
About 3 Wendy's.
I don't know about that.
It's about 3
He does
Big
Wendy's.
enough to
have some
dwarf a combine.
awfully big equipment in there.
Yeah, right.
And hide it. He hides it in the back
Yeah.
when he's running an event.
So
Okay,
in terms of the
15.
buildings, I know what Tom, he stated his rationale for suggesting the 10,000, trying to encourage people away from straight district to planned district.
And,
I don't
and
know.
do we allow bigger in planned industrial?
There's
Or
no.
do we have a,
No.
Building size at all.
Just says as
There's
outlined.
probably
in the
no
development
limitations
plan,
there.
It's part of the
or
plan.
as approved in the development.
okay. Well, we could lower it to 10,000 then. And then people will have the option to go.
Yeah,
Plan.
or if they build one of 10,000 square feet, they may want to come in and seek a variance to add a second building, because this basically limited them to one structure.
Mhm.
Okay,
And
so
it's
we're
then-
gonna change it to 10 instead of 15.
And it's per floor, so they could,
2 Wendy's.
Unless you have 4 Wendy.
You want to, then you
Okay.
can. Then you can have.
All right, lot size, no lot size shall be required. However, the lot size shall be adequate to provide the required yard spaces and off-street parking as herein required.
You're gonna require yard spaces,
I'm not sure about the
Are-
yard
are we
spaces,
talking
why
just-
that's there.
bufferings or something?
Side yard,
Yard spaces is just, setbacks. side
it
yard.
just, yeah, it's just what I was gonna say. It
Setbacks, okay.
relates more to the fact of setback.
so why don't we call it
So
setback?
it's some open space between buildings.
I think we use setbacks a lot and I would be more comfortable if we refer to it as setback. And off-street parking as required.
Instead of yard spaces. we'll call
So
it
you're
setback.
what you're saying, to provide the required setback
Setback.
spaces?
Or just setbacks.
Setbacks. and-
Oh, just required setbacks. Sounds reasonable.
Mm,
Okay, everybody?
Yep.
All right. To provide the required setbacks.
Okay, For lot width, you've got the yard spaces changed to setbacks again.
Yeah.
Yeah, any place that would be, we'd have to change it twice, yeah. Building height, 35 feet. $35 big enough?
That's 2 stories.
Yeah, that's what we, I mean, it's pretty standard.
So you get a bigger fire.
Setback shall be
Yep.
located right away. Side yard, we don't have a side yard.
How about a side setback?
It should be side setback, right? And rear setback. Greening,
And
These are
where it
pretty
says
small
rear yard,
setbacks for an industrial district, aren't they?
I was thinking the same thing, that, I mean, even in residential setbacks, side yards, I think, are 50 and the rear is, what were we looking at? Oh, we were looking at cannons. I don't think I have that with me. No, it wasn't Canon. It was the three that Joe brought in.
I forget, I don't have those.
But I think 30 is pretty skimpy for a setback when you're looking at an industrial application.
Oh, it says 50
That is what we have in
for the
the
side and
PID.
30 for the rear. Ooh, we could make these bigger and people would want to go to the PID.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. What a thought.
That'll do it.
And when we're in the mixed use zoning, we do have 100-foot buffers in a lot of cases. Make the side setback 100 and the rear setback 100.
Is that doable?
Wow.
Scott? Or is that
you're
Is that
adding a lot of,
really pushing
taking
it
away a
over?
lot of space on the property.
And we're trying to isolate the use from what's potentially, residential in the same, close by.
I'm okay with it.
Arbitrary. I guess. You can justify that you need that much to build your 6-foot mound. Because if it's 50, I mean, you can build a mound anywhere, I guess.
So planned commercial and office district has a minimum front setback of 100 feet. Although rear and side are only 25.
What does Article 21 says? Because that's what the building setback is listed here as following Article 21.
General development.
21 is, I'm gonna guess that's that table that depends on the type of street.
Ah.
They
Yeah,
routes have a bigger setback.
Yeah, like PCD.
None of those are very big. I don't think any of them are 100 feet.
Minimum setback distances, use classification, class A, class B, class C, 130, 90, 90. For AR1, FR1, R2, C1, C2, it even shows here industrial, 130, 130, and 100.
Okay. We can keep the building setback,
Now that's,
because it says follow Article 21.
minimum setbacks. So is this the front setback?
Yeah, I think I should change that to front setback. Under E.
PCD has a perimeter buffer of 100 feet if the land is adjacent to single family homes. I don't know if that makes sense to bring into here. Or does
Well,
the
it does-
setback cover that?
It does mean that 100-foot setback is not outlandish
Right,
in our code.
right. But this specifically says if it's adjacent to
Residential.
residential land. Hmm.
That buffer is applied to the structure.
Says if the proposed development is a perimeter buffer is required, such buffer shall require landscaping. Doesn't really say about the building structure itself. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm assuming that's what we meant.
So Scott, you were saying, E building setback is where you would
I was just gonna rename it front setback.
Yeah.
setback.
And then the next two would be side setback and rear setback.
Well, is the recommendation? It was suggested 100 feet. Is the recommendation for 100 feet for both side and rear?
Well, I think what I was reading here is the distance from the center line of the existing road, so it's front setback. Are these 130, 130 and 100, depending on the classification of the road.
Yeah.
That's the front setback.
What article is
So
that?
we're talking now, move on to this, the side setbacks and rear setbacks. You were
Yeah.
recommending 100 foot.
And
Both of
and
these.
like you were saying, it's not outlandish if we're saying the front setback's gotta be 100 minimum. Make the rear and unless you want to say 100. If it's adjoining a residential area, whatever wording was in
Yeah,
that.
because if you had two, let's say you have two parcels, two industrial parcels that are next to each other. Does it make sense that you're
Separate. Keeping them so far. apart.
keeping that so far apart? Would you rather it be clustered? I think I'd rather have them closer together, not.
You might prefer to have them closer
Yeah.
together,
Right.
yeah.
So Brittany, what was the language that you read before about residential?
There's 100 foot buffer if it's near a residential subdivision, right? A residential.
That was from the PCD. What number was that? I gotta find-
Well, it could read, I suppose, are we differentiating them? We want to say
Is 15.
50 feet on each side, except for an adjacent residential property, it must be 100 feet, something like that.
Yeah, so
Because,
the,
I mean,
I think that's.
that would
yeah.
differentiate what Louis was identifying.
yeah, it's 1504, letter C. Perimeter buffer. If the proposed development is adjacent to land developed as single-family homes, a minimum buffer of 100 feet is required. I don't know if you want to put single-family homes, but maybe single-family residential,
And maybe not even single family.
or
Maybe
just
multifamily.
residential.
Resident, I would say residential.
Yeah,
So you could add that as the last sentence for side and rear setbacks. Leave it as 50 and 30 or make it 50 and 50, but then say if it's adjacent to a residential, it's gotta be 100.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Does that sound like a reasonable request?
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
have
so.
you got that one,
so
Scott?
that was 1504.
All right, and then the rear, Tom was suggesting we make them both, make it 50 there
99%
also
of
instead of
townships
30.
resident.
So we just make
Yep.
it consistent.
Is it residential use?
50.
Cause if
Yeah, I
somebody
think
has
so.
50 acres and it's just a farm. Do they have to do 100 feet? Cause
Yeah.
the ag use. is-
Putting in- Yeah, for residential, it's gonna be 100. But we'll also
Well-
allow for 50 if it's adjacent to another, either commercial or another industrial lot.
So let's say you have a 50-acre farm or 100-acre farm, and you've got a 2-acre farm lot, house. And you're gonna put an industrial use right on top of the house. Within 50 feet, or you got all that room, move it away. Build a buffer and it's 100
I'm
feet.
saying, is the farm next to you? Do you have to be 100 feet away from the farm? Because you can't put a house on a.
Well, I would,
AR1 lot.
who comes first? If the industrial application use comes first,
Well, but if it's already zoned residential, the only assumption you could make is that it's going to be residential.
But all of our stuff, even AR1 is agricultural residential.
and that's the default zoning in the entire township.
Well, I think it's a reasonable assumption that a lot of it will be residential at some point, but.
So it could, well,
Let me point out that we have 5 minutes until we would normally be scheduled to adjourn, but we've got just a couple. I mean, you look at what's left,
Not much.
there's not much left to do. And I'm wondering if we would try to get through this so we can give it to Scott, then the next time we have it, we won't be having to go through something and then have to again move it back to
Mhm.
another meeting.
It depends, how much more does Tom have?
well, yeah. If we could-
Because I don't have anything.
Maybe we keep our
else.
comments to just the red changes. And that way we're not reviewing stuff.
Don't
that
find
was-
new stuff. Don't find-
Yeah, because that would allow us to maybe get to a point where we have the next draft.
Yeah.
And then we will be able to take that draft and say, okay, well, then we can set a meeting
Let's do.
after.
All right, let's keep powering through
Okay.
then.
Okay,
For G, did that also go up to 50 feet or is that still 30 feet?
well, it was suggested that it be 50 from
Let's
Tom.
put 50 on both.
50.
I was,
Fifty.
We'll stew on it for a little
good,
bit.
yeah, I've got 50 written in
Next
because I
time.
thought that's what we were heading
Okay,
toward.
I didn't have it actually written yet. I just.
All right. So then for the rest of the, looking on H for screening. Anything on that?
Nope.
Parking,
Nope, we're not talking.
that's
about-
already addressed
We're
in,
just doing lighting
just
as
making a
next.
reference to elsewhere. Signs, we've resolved that one.
Yep.
Lighting, we've got that section in the development standards 2114. Freight loading,
Red.
okay?
Good.
Landscape plan, ooh, something new.
No, I mean.
Oh.
Seriously, but why did I say repeat?
I mean, can there be a landscape plan in a straight industrial district?
I mean, maybe it just needs that phrase that a lot of them have that says all land shall be, all natural land should be maintained with grass and landscape.
I like though that you had that shall be developed, in a compatible with adjoining areas.
21.
So you could say something like, in the PCD, it says all yards, front, side, and rear shall be landscaped. So you could maybe use that wording as shall be landscaped, which is compatible with and such.
It's kind of the second half of that very end. The
Yeah.
owner or occupant of the premises shall at all times maintain all grasslands.
I'm fine with it as written.
We take out plan, just call it landscaping. And, that's,
Just say, yeah, landscaping shall be developed.
and then a landscape plan shall be, so,
Just landscaping shall be.
Yeah.
Landscaping shall be compatible.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
Okay, shall be compatible?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
So for noise is 55 decibels. 55 decibels enough.
That's comparable to the other. I
Yeah.
think, other noise wording we've put
Okay.
in other articles.
Yeah, we've got that number utilized before. Okay, and then floodplains
But-
regulated
but
according to
that-
21.9.
We've used that number before, but this is an industrial district, which likely could have other. It might be louder.
Yeah, but
Well,
it's
but it's
not,
still-
saying
not at
it
the
should-
boundary, at the boundary with somebody else,
Okay.
that's what it should be.
and it's
I mean,
outside.
and it
outside
can
the
be
hours-
louder, but it can't be louder once it crosses that boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Outside
All
the
right.
hours of operation.
Yeah. That's it too.
O and P are already covered. Floodplains.
And I would just add at the section 2109 of this resolution and section 2116 of this resolution. Just so it follows the wording in the rest of the section. And that's the end of it. Everything else is
Delete.
struck out.
I looked, that's because it's included in 2116.
930.
Yes, that's why, because we've already transferred
already
that to the
addressed.
2116. All right, great. So the next draft might be, we may be able to finalize it to move it forward to a zoning hearing date. Okay, well, look at that. It's 9:30. No,
A
9:31.
motion to adjourn.
Or 9:29. Oh.
All right, it was a
Okay.
motion made by Louis and seconded by Brittany, and it was 9:31.
Clock says 9:29.
That was slow.
Clock is slow.
It says 9:30.
We all know it's slow.
You
Yeah,
should
that
set
clock
that
up there
clock
is slow.
ahead like 2 minutes.
Oh,